purpose built. I had all these ideas and whatever for it, and I went into some of the cells. They were absolutely tiny. They had a shower and they had a toilet in the cells, but it was like tiny bit of material with a magnet there and something there, and you just did it across. And if you was sharing a cell with someone, well, there was no privacy at all. You know, that was a new prison that cost millions. So they're not learning the lessons, are they? I mean, there's a new prison supposed to open, I think, next year, Mill Site, I think that's what it's called. But you wonder what it's actually going to be like. I hope it is better than what Berwyn was when that was first opened. That had terrible problems. And I
Mm.
visited it in the summer, and it was absolutely baking. The whole place it was terrible. I don't know how people could work there, let alone have to live there.
Yeah, it's that prison in Wales. When did that open?
Oh gosh, about 6 years ago, maybe. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so fairly recent. Um, yeah, you wonder why that would be the case then if it sort of got slapping out. Because just from a hygiene perspective,
Well, it's slopping out. Slopping out is in some of the older prisons, and they haven't dealt with that issue in all the prisons, and I think that's terrible. You know, I can't imagine it, can you? Just inhumane, in my opinion. But then other people think, well, punishment, don't care about them. But majority of people will be leaving prison and they'll all be back in society. So
mm,
why would you treat people so badly while they're in prison? And then the people that sent them to prison is then, they're having to deal with all these different issues when they're in prison. And then on the outside, if you haven't had help while you're on the inside, how are you going to cope on the outside? There are some good organisations that will um, help from when they're still in prison and help through the gate, which I think is fantastic. But there's not a lot of money available for them. I mean, there should be more money available for organisations to do that, but a lot of it they're charities, and they rely on people for support. Um, I mean, I've seen some really really good examples, but on the whole, there's not enough, not enough, because as we know that people are leave prison and they're homeless. Or some, I remember one women's prison, they were given tents on release. So the system's not joined up, is it really? It's not at all.
no, it doesn't seem that way. And you raised an interesting point about homeless. I was just wondering, what percentage of prisoners are were homeless before going into prison? And I wonder what percentage were from the military? Because I imagine those two is pretty high.
Well, with the military, there are some organisations that will help. I'm trying to think of their names right now. Off the top of my head, I can't think of them. But it's not just whether they're veterans or young men or women. If you haven't got um, accommodation available, there's not enough, approved premises, but approved premises, aren't it? But
Mm.
what I've heard when people have talked to me about them, they're just like prisons. The drugs are rife, there's not really the support for them. Um, they're run by private contractors often. There needs to be something, there's a gap there because if you're released homeless, what do you do? Where are you going to get any food from? How are you going to live? And you're more likely to, commit another crime in order to have a roof over your head. But why should people commit crime just to have somewhere to live? But it happens.